Welcome back to my SketchUp video at mrstewartsvideos.com. We've been working on a house for a while now, and we're getting to where we can start really doing some interior decorating with this house. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a feature that I used before, which is to hide the walls. What I'm going to want to do here is put some floors in, and I want to uh, paint the walls, and then we're going to put in some furniture. So we're going to hide these walls again as we did before, and the windows. So I select both walls, I select the windows, and then I do edit, hide. So pause it now, select the walls and select the windows and do edit, hide. Okay, so let's paint some floors here. Let's do some floors here. I'm going to click on the paint bucket once again. This time I'm going to select wood. I like hardwood floors personally, but if you like, you can also select carpet, for example. So I'm going to select wood. I'm going to pick a nice floor that I like. I'll take this one here, and then I'm going to paint on these floors that I've made. And so now we have nice hardwood floors. Now I want to paint my walls, so let's pick a color. Pick a nice, I like a nice light blue here. So I'll scroll down there. Let's take this one here. So I'll paint my walls here. You can, of course, paint them whatever color you'd like. They're your walls. So I have my walls painted. I'm going to paint my door the trim of my door a slightly darker color. Then I'll paint my door another color. And then I want to paint the walls I had over here, the walls in the back over here. So now I've got my walls painted and I've got some floors. Now we're going to put in some furniture, and we're going to use the components window. So the components allows me to get furniture that's already been created and put it in my house. And it's a pretty easy thing to use, but putting the furniture in the right place and getting it straight and getting it the right size isn't always so easy. So let's say this is my living room and I'd like to put a couch in here. So I'm going to pause it first and paint your walls and your floors if you haven't yet using the paint bucket. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to use the window, and we're going to use the components window, and we're going to put in some furniture. So I'm going to click on window and I'm going to go to components. So pause it, click on window, and go to components. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to look for a sofa. I'd like to put a sofa in here. So in this little box here, I'm going to write sofa, and then I'm going to press the search key. So now I've got various sofas to choose from. I'll choose this first one, the Axis sofa from Crate and Barrel. But you can pick whatever you want. Now I'm going to select it, then I get a better look. I can click, if I want, I can do a 3D view and see better what it looks like from every direction. Pretty nice. Okay, and if I like it, I can download the model, and I'll click yes and load it directly into my SketchUp model. And then I'm going to put it down. Alright, so I want you to do the same thing. Pick a sofa that you like and put it into your SketchUp model. Okay, so now you should have a sofa in your SketchUp model. Now, you'll notice various problems with this sofa. One, it's facing the wrong direction. Two, it's too big. And third, it's sticking through the wall, all of which are problems. So, we can fix all these things. The sofa is what we call a component, which is a bunch of different parts together. And so with a component, we sort of everything we do to it, we do to the whole thing together. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to first, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it a little smaller. And I'm going to use a new tool called the scale tool. I'm going to click on the scale tool, and you'll notice that various things come around. So if I'm going to go to one of the corners here, I'm going to pull it in a little bit to make this sofa not so big. to make it about that big. I'll just eyeball it in this case instead of giving it a exact size. So now I have a more reasonable size sofa. The next thing I want to do is I want to turn around so it's facing the right direction. But first I want you to pause it, click on the scale tool, and I want you to scale your sofa down so it fits reasonably in your house. Okay, so now your sofa should be facing the right direction. Now your sofa should be the right size. We're going to make it face the right direction. I'm going to click on the Move tool. Now, as I click on the Move tool, as I move over it, you're going to see I get various red arrows. You see those red crosses on top. The red crosses allow me to turn it in a different direction. If I click on one of the red crosses here, and I might have to zoom in a little bit to see them better, you'll see that I get a protractor. Protractor is for turning in a certain direction. Okay, so I'm going to turn it around, and I'm going to click here, and I'm going to rotate it so it's facing the direction of the wall that I want. So I'm going to put it against this wall right here, the wall behind it. So I'm going to click it there. So I want you to try the same thing. I want you to click on the sofa, and I want you to turn it facing the correct direction. Now comes actually the hardest part, which is putting it in the right place. Putting it in the right place can be a little tricky. One of the things that's hard about it is if I try and move something like a component, it's easy to get it through the walls and it's easy to get it under the ground like that. So, and I want to make sure that it's on the ground. So here's how I want to do it. I'm going to use something called inference locking. Inference locking allows me to lock something to a particular direction or a surface. In this case, we want it to stay on the floor, not to go up in the air or underground. So what I want to do is I'm going to move, and you'll see it says on face when I move over the floor. Okay, I'm going to hold down the Shift key. The Shift key holds anything I do on the face of the floor. Now I'm going to click anywhere, and I'm going to start moving, and you'll notice now my sofa stays on the floor. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to move it up until it gets almost to the wall here. And I'm going to click when I'm up against the wall. And you'll see that now I'm right up sort of against the wall. If I wanted to, and you can see now my sofa is facing right up against the wall. And so this is how we can put furniture in our house. So I want you to pause it. I want you to move your sofa so it's facing up against the wall you want. And now I want you to just pause it and have some fun putting various furniture in your house. You can search for anything. For example, I can search for a coffee table to put in front of the sofa. So let's take, I'll pick this IKEA table here. I'll download the model and load it directly into the Sketchup model. I'll just put it down wherever. Now we want to make sure that our sofa stays, that our table, we want to first we'll make our table a little smaller. So I'll use the scale tool, shrink it down. And then I'm going to use the Move tool to move it. It's already facing the right direction, so I'll move it in front of my sofa. Okay, I can even search for a painting. For example, say a modern architectural painting, a modern abstract painting, for example. I'll download the model. So now I have a modern abstract painting here. It's a little too big, so I will use my scale tool and shrink it down a little bit. It looks about right. Now to get it up against the wall, I can move it over here, but it's not really up against the wall yet. So the easiest way to do it is to look from another direction. I'll move around here. I can hide this wall temporarily. So I'll click Edit, Hide, and then I'm going to move the painting. I can start from a corner here where it says Endpoint till I get to where it says On Face. On Face means I'm on the wall. And now if I look, I'm starting to have a nice little living room here with a painting, sofa, and an end table. And I could keep having more fun, but now I'm going to let you start having the fun. Start putting some furniture into your house and make it look nice. And this will be the end of working with this particular practice house. Starting with the next lesson, we'll be working on something new. I look forward to seeing you at the next lesson.